Hello there, everybody, and welcome to the top 5 tips and tricks for beginners in Revita. If you don't know what Revita is, first of all, thanks for clicking a video you know nothing about, but this is a new incredible roguelike that just fully released, and there is a ton to explore and learn. While the game has a very gradual skill curve and is full of a lot of secrets, there's tons of little tips and tricks to just get you started that you might not know about when you dive in for that first time. So we're going to cover a few of these tips that I think are the most important to learn. Without further ado, let's hop right in. Number 1. Improving your movement. So what does this mean exactly? Well, in a game that is focused around 2D platforming and shooting, people tend to focus more on the shooting than on the movement. But the reality is that as you climb shard levels or difficulty levels in the game, you're gonna find that your movement ends up being more important than your aim. There's a few movement techniques that are gonna be extremely important to learn. The first, and in my opinion most important, is learning how to gun jump. Gun jumping is first explained to you by a post-it note in the upstairs of the metro to access your first blueprint, but it can also be used all the time in combat to improve your mobility and agility. By shooting your gun at the ground and jumping, you'll get a jump boost that can launch your player high in the air, allowing you to get out of tight spaces. You then pair this with the second most important movement tech, using your dash. Since your dash makes you invincible, it's vital that you get used to dashing and using your dash to escape danger. Combining the gun jump with the dash can get you enough height and distance to escape enemies and position yourself better in the room. Another important skill is to get used to wall jumping. You can continuously wall jump on a wall, which can help you stay away from enemies on the ground chasing you. Combine all these tips together, you're going to stand a much better chance. Number 2. Secret rooms. Like many other roguelites, Revita has secret rooms too. There's 2 per area of the game, the regular secret room and the super secret room, both found in the same way but under slightly different conditions. It should be noted that the condition to find secret rooms has changed in the full release of the game, so if you have been playing Revita in early access and are coming back to the game, you're going to want to listen up. When you enter a room with enemies, shoot at the walls around the room on the left and right sides. There must be enemies in the room when you are checking for secret rooms, or you will not be able to get into them. If the wall flashes white, you found a secret room. You'll also notice that the music dims a little when you approach it. Kill all of the enemies and then give it a couple bullets and that door will break open, giving you access to it. In early access, you had to also not get hit in this room, but that condition is no longer necessary in the full release of the game. The super secret room, however, is much harder to find, but can be found easily if you know what you're looking for. The music does not dim and there's no white flash on the wall, but you'll notice that when you hit the super secret room wall, it makes the same sound it makes when you hit an enemy, and the bullet will not penetrate the wall. It just stops at the front of it as if it's about to bounce off of it. Kill all the rest of the enemies in the room, then break the wall. Secret rooms are great for giving extra resources like keys, damage, and shields, but they can also contain small chests with souls and even rarely big chests. They're worth exploring, and you may even find some extra secret rooms on floors with some extra secret stuff as you progress in the game. This is me being secretive for the sake of not spoiling. Okay, let's move on. Number 3, healing. It's no surprise that in a game all about spending your health, that health would be a remarkably important thing to be able to manage properly. There's going to be like 5 tips in this section, so listen up. The first and most important part about your health is actually remembering to heal and create new hearts. If you forgot from the tutorial, you can overheal your hearts you have to create new ones, which gives you more max HP. More max HP allows you to perform upgrades or just have more HP to spend on items throughout the floor. If you're looking for more max HP, you can also look no further than boss fights. If you finish a boss fight without getting hit, you're going to get a relic from the boss that gives you an additional max HP. You may be tempted to heal once you're out of battle, but as you're collecting souls from enemies, you may find that you've filled your soul bar, and every extra enemy you kill is just wasting soul and wasting hearts. It's going to be worth it to get a little extra health by finding a safe spot in the room to heal, so you can maximize the souls you get from enemies. After, and sometimes even before, a boss fight, it may be advantageous to not heal. Since after a boss fight you enter the metro and can upgrade your items for max HP, it may not be worth it to heal, as you're just giving up souls that you're going to end up wasting when you upgrade your items. Heal after you upgrade your items and start creating new hearts. Finally, the most important tip with healing: actually spend your hearts. Not only is it fun to get funky items and explore funky interactions, but as you progress through the game and you get to higher difficulty shard levels, you need items to win. Spend your HP, you're gonna get it back over time. One really good item could be worth more than a heart for you in the long run. Number 4, stats. On the surface, this seems stupid because obviously having stats is important in Revita and in any roguelite, but a lot of people don't know some of the intricacies about what the stats mean in Revita. First things first though, you can actually turn on the stat HUD to be visible at all times in game so you can track your stats in real time. Let's talk about a few of them. The first is damage, shown in a percentage. This damage percentage changes depending on what gun you are using, but in the case of the base gun, it has a base damage of 10, and you start your run with the damage percentage at 0. This damage you have is additive, meaning that as you get increases to it, this adds to the base of 10. So for example, a 5% damage increase, the standard damage increase in the game, is a plus 0.5 added to your damage, meaning you do 10.5 damage now. 10% is an additional 1 to your damage, and you now do 11. Obviously, the higher your damage, the happier you are. Next stat is speed. There isn't much to say here. The higher your speed, the faster you go. Next up is shot speed, which is probably the next most interesting stat in this list. It's exactly how it sounds. It controls how fast your shots come out of the gun. The big bonus with shot speed though is it actually helps to increase your range as well. At a value of 50% of a range up, a range stat increase would give. Really wordy, so what does it mean? For example, if you got a 10% shot speed bonus, it would also give you a 5% range increase. But the plus here is that negative shot speed does not impact your range at all. So there's really no downside to getting a shot speed upgrade unless you have some kind of relic synergy that does better with lower shot speed. Next up is your rate of fire, controlling how fast your gun fires. The higher the number, the more shots come out per second. To maximize your damage potential, you'll want to make sure this number and your damage number are as high as possible. Next we have range, controlling how far your bullets travel when you shoot. There's not much else to say about it. Then we have luck, which is a stat that isn't really explained but does a lot for you. Anytime you see an item that has a percentage chance to activate, luck impacts it. The chance to get pickups after rooms, luck impacts it. There's a lot of RNG components in Revita where luck gives you a higher chance for the positive outcome. It's one of those stats that is one of the most important in the game, and it impacts the game so much without you even noticing it does. Definitely look to increase your luck to maximize your chances of winning. And finally, we have accuracy, which is how far your bullets stray from your line when you shoot. The lower this number is, the better. And finally, our last tip, progression. Now you may be starting Revita and thinking it's a small little roguelike, but you could not be more wrong. Revita is a massive game with a ton to explore and see. You may breeze through your first few runs of the game, but Revita comes with a built-in ascension level system that you may have heard me talking about in this video called shards. These shards change components of the game to make it a brand new experience every time you do a run. There's over 30 unique shard levels in the game, and they're gonna get harder as you play. If you're finding the game easy, that's great. Keep climbing and unlocking new shard levels because there's tons of content to find. Here's some tips for making sure you're progressing through the game at a good pace. Ensure you grab 2 items from the prisoner every time you start a run. Those 2 items can help you learn the game and start out with some insane synergies. Prioritize freeing souls from the tower, as this gives you new unique rooms and NPCs to talk to expand your game, including the funky fresh chef and even the fisherman, who will teach you how to fish in the lake in the home hub. That's right, Revita has a fishing minigame. I'm not lying when I say the amount of content in the game is massive. Maybe also consider petting the cat by the tree. There's just secrets everywhere. If you're struggling to get wins and getting frustrated though, maybe check out the accessibility options in the settings. You can adjust your difficulty level to fit your liking. Revita is a game completely focused around acceptance. No pun intended. There's no shame in lowering your difficulty. And with that, that's the end of my tips and tricks for Revita. They're a bit vague for a reason. The game just came out and there's so much to explore for yourself. Get in there and enjoy it. I hope you love it as much as I do. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to watch me climb the many levels of the clock tower myself, you can check out my Revita series here on YouTube or follow me over on Twitch. Links in the description down below. Go climb the tower. Get out of here. See ya.